time are you going to start it and not tell me and act like, and I have to act so surprised? Oh, you did it anyway, didn't you?
I was in the midst of it.
I should
um,
have known.
I love it. Um,
Yeah, that's me. I'm the mean one.
exactly. Oh, welcome everyone to the very well named, as always, Unready room. I'm I'm Dan Gunther. With me, of course, Brandi, Jackola, and Lower Decks. Oh my God, Lower Decks, Lower
What
Decks,
word next?
Lower Decks.
What word next?
So excited to talk about the season 3 premiere of Star Trek Lower Decks, the episode Grounded. Welcome everyone who's here live with us and who's watching us later. Really do appreciate it. Thank you for folks in the chat and inquiring about my health. I'm just getting over the wonderful coronavirus, and I'm just on the tail end of it now. I just kind of sound like crap, but yeah, I'm doing okay. I'm going back to work tomorrow. Yay. But before then, we get to talk about Star Trek, so I'm excited about that. So
Me
yeah.
too.
Oh man. So Brandi, how excited are you that Lower Decks is back? I mean, dumb question, but let's do the banter anyway.
You know, I might have cried during this episode.
I believe it. I believe it. It's
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You probably know why. You probably know
Oh
why.
yeah. I think so.
And then we'll get to it. But yes, I rewatched it this morning with my mom. And yeah, and I'm just like sitting on the sofa going, yeah, okay, well, yep, I'm welling up again, third time watching it, and yep, still having that reaction. So
Mm-hmm. Well, it's funny because this show, like on the surface, on the inch deep depth of it, it's just a silly show with silly characters who are being silly and making fun of some of the tropes of Star Trek and blah blah blah. But here we are, 2 seasons in. We're starting our third season, and I love how much these guys have wormed their way into my heart. Like
me too.
yeah, it's and I mean, we should know by now that we're affected this way as humans. Like
Yes.
Futurama, same thing, right? Oh, just a
Mm-hmm.
silly cartoon. And then Jurassic Park comes along and you're a
Nope.
friggin'
Nope.
mess.
Nope. Nope. We do not speak of that episode. That makes me ugly cry in the worst way, and
Yeah.
then I'm inconsolable for hours afterwards. So yeah. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And yeah, so I love these characters. It's so much fun to see them again. It's so much fun to see Mariner um caring about something, and like we see that like she's broken up over seeing her mom taken away in handcuffs and all this stuff. And well, stuff we'll all get to for sure. So
Yes.
yeah. Yeah, I just rewatched this one this morning, just a couple hours ago actually as well. So it had been a little while, so I had to refresh my memory a little bit.
Yeah,
um
because guess what, guys? Dan gets the screeners now too.
you oddly enough, though, I've not used them to full advantage, and I've still only seen this episode.
Oh my word! I've seen the 8 that are available to us. All
Yep.
8. Yes, someone in the chat, I think it was Zamboni. Yep, TJ Zamboni asked how many I've seen already. I've seen 1 through 8 of season 3.
Yeah, I have access to 1 through 8, but I've only seen the first one just because I'm like, I want to just talk about. But anyway, I'll probably break the seal on those other ones fairly quickly now. But anyway. So yeah, we pick up, of course, right where season 2 left off. We've had Carol Freeman arrested for the destruction of Pakled Planet. The ship is still missing all of her hull plating from the rescue at the end of last season, and the crew is grounded. And we see that Boimler's family vineyard on Earth here, harkening back to Picard's vineyard and all that sort of stuff. But they make grapes. They make raisins. That's their thing. They make raisins. I love the line. We Boimlers dry grapes. Just dry them and dry them and dry them until they're all shriveled and hopeless and stuck on Earth forever. And I hope that's on the packaging. Like, I hope that's their slogan.
I hope so too. That was actually my other choice for middle name was Shriveled and Hopeless. So,
I was thinking of playing around with something like that as well. Yeah.
yeah, that had to go back to Alien Sploof because Alien Sploof.
Alien Sploof. I mean, yeah. So yeah, we see Mariner is restless and of course wants to do something to exonerate her mother. She has no faith in the system, and you know that's all, the trial's already decided. We've got to find the evidence and that sort of thing. And kind of what follows is this comedy of errors of them trying to get this evidence that Boimler has. He has the logs because he re-records all of the senior officers' logs with his own little annotations to them and stuff, which that was great. I love that.
My heart, I just okay, guys. Like I am a Boimler. All right, I am a Boimler and a Tendy. It's really weird, but so when he was saying those things, I'm just like, oh my god, that's something I would do. That's absolutely something I would do.
Yeah.
Oh, one thing I wanted to mention though, it's everybody's like, why was Boimler so oblivious to the women throwing themselves at him? And I have a theory about that. I actually have two theories. I feel like it's either one, he hates being there so much and his family knows that but wants him there. And so they have all these women keep throwing themselves at him in hope that he'll like get on with one of them and, you know, want to stay. Or two, he uh he knows that they just want to get in good with the family. And so either way, it's not that he's oblivious to their intentions. He knows their intentions are not real, that it has
Mm.
nothing to do with him.
Mhm.
And so he just doesn't have any patience for that crap. Those are my theories.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. I also really enjoyed Mariner's just reaction to all of this going on. It's just like
Spray off with the hose, Lizanne. Or whatever her name. Leanne, was that Leanne? I can't remember.
something like that. Yeah.
I'm all covered in juice and I need your help to get naked.
um.
So great.
Also, did you notice the first woman to come
Looked
up?
like the Sun-Made Raisins girl? Yes, I
Yes,
did notice that.
I love that. I'm
Did
just gonna.
indeed.
I
Well
mean,
done. Well
it's so perfect.
done. It was just
I
yeah,
thought
except
that was
she had her blouse pulled down off the shoulders.
yeah, yeah.
It's
It was yeah. Anyway,
yeah,
I thought that was amusing for sure. We catch up with my goodness, Rutherford and Tendy, and they're eating at Cisco's in
of
New
course
Orleans. And well, I need to give TJ a bit of the floor here because whoops, the comments moved as I clicked. There we go. The Ketracel White Hot, the sauce there. Um, you had an analysis of the Scoville heat units on the bottle and all of this stuff. Um, I vaguely remember that it's like more than is like actually possible or something like that. So
ain't. Mhm.
humanity has evolved greater tolerance to heat units in the future, maybe, except Boimler, of course.
I
Uh,
guess so. I guess so. That was also in because his one of his other comments was about in the sort of promo thing that a lot of people got, like everyone in the show got, and etc. Had a Boimler Family Vineyard oatmeal raisin cookies, but there was also a bottle of that Ketracel white hot sauce. Yes, there was.
oh man. Um, yeah.
The
So
marketing, I'm telling you, just like
I love
why
it.
not just put it out? Just put it out. You're gonna make so much money.
Oh,
Put out those
totally.
Boimler Family Vineyard raisin cookies. Just put them out.
Yeah, okay, so David Henderson, yeah, that was it here. It was 17 million Scoville heat units, which is 1 million higher than pure capsaicin, which is apparently 16 million. So, yeah,
Wow, that is a
it's pretty
lot.
intense.
Yeah.
um, yeah, little things at the restaurant, of course, the fact that it's Cisco's and the costumes. I mean, Rutherford's got the famous Jake Sisko bus seat
Mhm.
style shirt going on.
Yep.
There's also the is it a it's an alligator, right? So yeah, that part of the world be an alligator. The alligator's hanging up in the restaurant there that was there in Deep Space Nine and stuff. That was pretty cool.
Yes, a lot visually going on that, even watching it 3 times, there were still things the 3rd time I was like, "Oh, oh, alligator," because I missed that the first 2 times. Today was the first time I'm like, "Oh, alligator, right, of
Yeah.
course, why not?"
I
Just
love it. Uh, so yeah, they decide they've got to get aboard Cerritos to get this evidence, like I said, and we get that great scene where Mariner is waiting at the door for her perfect moment to enter with the one-liner, and Rutherford calls her out on it, which I thought that was fun for sure.
and
Um,
Boimler confirms.
yeah, no, we were standing there for like a minute. It was weird.
It's like, "Why are we standing out in the hall?"
Oh man. Um, so yeah, they decide they have to get up to the Cerritos somehow, and they're going to do that by infiltrating this transporter facility operated by this kindly old chief petty officer guy, um, who I kept forgetting to look up the name of who's doing the voice, but he's a regular who's done a lot of voices in Lower Decks. I very recently rewatched season one, and so the voice that I really remember him as is the guy on the ship that was going to the farm, who is like half de-aged, half rapid
Mm,
aged.
right?
That same kind of manic sounding voice, but I forgot to look it up. But I love what he brings to that character. I thought that was fun.
Well, unfortunately, IMDb has not been forthcoming about who has done what voice. I know Bobby Moynihan did the voice of Gavin the botanist.
Mm,
So my guess is that it was Carlos Alazraqui,
okay.
because I know Phil
Les
Lamar does the voice of the admiral.
Oh no, Les Buenamigo was the
No, 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 Freeman, not
yeah,
Buenamigo.
but that was Carlos Alazraqui was the other
Okay, that
admiral.
was him.
Les
Okay,
Buenamigo.
which
Uh,
literally means good friend.
hmm. Oh yeah, that's great.
I know,
Um,
right?
yeah, I'm not sure. Okay, characters with unidentified voices. So okay,
Yeah,
yeah. So they haven't said, but yeah, he was great. I
yeah.
really enjoyed him. Um,
Agree. Did you notice the book that he was reading?
no, what was he reading? Oh no.
I gotta look it up because I've forgotten the name of it already. Um, Good grief. And I'm pretty sure Patrick sent this to me. Patrick, did you send this to me? Because I'm pretty sure you did. So get on that. He sends me so much stuff. I love you, Patrick. Let's see here. Somebody tweeted it, and I know that Patrick sent it to me. But he sent me so many freaking things because he's awesome and keeps me smiling. Anyway, I'm very sorry about this. Here we go. Chief Carlton Dennis is reading Emery Erickson, a memoir.
Ah, excellent. Emery
Yeah.
Erickson, of course, the inventor of the transporter. Excellent. Very
As
cool.
seen in Star Trek Enterprise
Mhm.
season 4.
Or
Was it 4?
yep,
Yes.
the
Yeah. Season
episode
4.
Daedalus. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it makes sense. It sounds like Bobby Moynihan. So
Oh, really? Thank you, TJ.
yeah, that makes
And
sense. Because
yeah,
he's a regular who's done lots of voices on the show too. So
I
um
love Bobby Moynihan. Made me happy to hear his voice.
absolutely. Excellent. Thank you for the Emery Erickson reference. That's awesome. I didn't catch that. Very, very cool.
Well, it's very, very quick, and unless you've got a really quick finger to pause it and really good high definition screen, you could miss that really easily.
Yeah. Oh, awesome. I'll have to add that to the list. So yeah, they're intending, of course, to knock out this guy and use the transporter, but they just can't bring themselves to. He's such a kindly, sweet old man, and
With
uh,
butterscotch.
he's everybody's grandpa. But it would all be for naught anyway, because this swarm of space-dwelling life forms coming through the system would make it impossible to beam up anyway. The what are they called? The Verugament.
Arugament.
Yeah, they would make it impossible to beam to the Cerritos anyway. So they have to come up with another idea. And I mean, this is just so much fun. I'm so happy. I was grinning the whole time. They decide to go to Bozeman, Montana, to the site of first contact with the Vulcans, to take the Phoenix ride up into space to get aboard Cerritos. And this whole sequence from start to finish, like the music, the view of the statue that we heard about in first contact, and all of the all the little typical stuff at an amusement park, and all that kind of stuff. What
The
was it?
jukebox that only plays one song.
Yeah, exactly. The snack bar called Thirst Contact. I mean, it's so great. All of it was wonderful.
Oh, and I bet I've been listening like at work when I'm feeling stressed out. I listen to various Star Trek soundtracks,
Mhm.
and Lower Decks is in heavy rotation, but so is Star Trek First Contact. And so
Oh,
when I heard
yeah.
that music, I'm like, they're using the music, you guys.
Yeah.
So yeah, that made me super emotional. And then when I heard James Cromwell's voice, I'm like, I'm done. I'm
That was
done.
so terrific. I was like, the first time I was watching it with Nikki, and I just turned to her, I was like, oh, did they? They did.
It
Oh, that was so wonderful.
did. Yes,
And
I
and
loved that so much.
thank you, James Cromwell, for saying, yeah, sure. I love it.
Yeah.
It's I was so happy. That was wonderful. And
Yes.
all the little touches, like waiting in line to get on the ride, and you get the little in character. It's like, oh hey, you know,
Yeah. And
just
they were eating churros. I wanted a
yeah.
churro so much after that.
Um, making I've seen some people, and I've read it years ago, but I can't remember exactly the reference. But John Scalzi's Red Shirts, apparently someone figures the churros was a reference to that book somehow.
Oh, nice.
I need that explained, because I can't remember what the reference there was. But
Mm.
yeah, very cool. But yeah, TJ, that was totally a Scalzi homage. Yeah, I can't remember, but anyway.
It
Um,
just makes me think of working a summer at our local amusement park, and I was stuck in the churro/icy/pretzel hut a lot of the time. No
mhm,
bathroom, had to beg someone to cover me if I needed to pee. It was hell,
yeah,
but I
that
still love
doesn't.
churros.
I haven't had a churro. I haven't had that in so long. It's been
Me
forever.
either. Yeah,
Yeah.
years and years for me.
Uh, hmm.
They're so tasty.
They're not quite as ubiquitous in Canada, if I, as in places that I've been in the States and elsewhere. So, but
Well, I seem
uh,
to only find them at freaking amusement parks now. That's like
mhm.
the only place that I see churros anymore.
Hmm. Well, I'll definitely have to, once I'm traveling again, I'm gonna line up for a churro somewhere.
Yeah. Take pictures so I can live vicariously through you.
Oh, absolutely. So yeah, we get aboard the this ride that actually takes you up to space, and um So, okay, this is one of my little nitpicks of Star Trek First Contact. It's not a huge deal. It's one of those things that they sacrifice realism because it looks cool. But
Mhm.
there's that shot where it shows like the people at the bar looking up. They're like, "What's going on?" And the doors open right there, and then you see the nose of the ship come up, and the
Nope.
camera follows it up, and you see the huge plume of like,
Yeah, that city would be gone.
yeah,
That
yeah,
bar's gone. Those people are dead.
everyone there is dead now.
Yep.
I always love that shot because I'm like thinking of the logistics of that. I'm like, eh. But I love that, they still have that happen. Here's probably, better technology that wouldn't incinerate everybody. But in my mind, in First Contact, those people are all dead.
Mhm. Agree. Agree.
Oh. Oh man, we got some insider knowledge here. So apparently the best churros in Canada are at Pengrowth Saddle Dome. Okay. Well, I'll have to check
There
that
you
out.
go, Dan. Get yourself to Pengrove Saddle Dome.
Yep, absolutely. Which is actually, kind of in my neck of the woods. I mean, 10 hours away still, but whatever. Um,
That's a long way to go for a churro.
yeah, it is. Oh man. Um, so yeah, they take the Phoenix up into orbit, and we're also saddled with this what was his name
Gavin!
again? Gavin,
Gavin the
yes.
botanist.
Gavin the botanist turned Gavin the space explorer. Yeah, he's not too used to space travel, and is kind of freaking out. I enjoyed that. I thought that was great to have him along. Kind of an odd decision to like just chest bump him and say, "You go have fun, kid," when all was said and done. But hey, whatever, that works.
Well, how much trouble could he really get into before Starfleet caught him?
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm
honestly.
I am glad we got that little bit of a tag at the end. Like I was a little worried when he said this is what does he say? He's like, this isn't the last you've seen of Gavin or something like that.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh no, he's gonna show up in some later episode or something, having gotten
Nope.
into a heap of trouble. No, some
Same
Starfleet
episode.
runabout, yeah,
Yeah.
caught him at the end. Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's what happens when you go joyriding around the Earth sector. It's just not
Yeah.
you're not gonna get away with that.
Oh man. I love the equivalent is like, I don't know, hijacking the Universal Studios tram ride and like heading down the freeway or something.
Oh my word, that brings back some massive memories from when I was what? I want to say 9 years old, 8 or 9 years old. My
Wow.
mom knows what I'm talking about. We went on our first big vacation to Southern California. We had never gone anywhere like that before, and we went to Disneyland and Universal Studios and the Queen Mary. That place is messed up, and in a good way. In a good way, it's fine. And Knott's Berry Farm, and I believe we also went to San Diego Zoo, if I remember correctly, or maybe that was a different
Wow.
trip. But it was in November and it rained for a lot of the time.
You know what's really weird? You did that when you were about 9, you figure.
Mhm. Yeah.
I did that pretty much that exact same trip. I was about 7. Um,
Hmm.
so still a few years apart, just doing the math, but not that far apart, basically doing the same trip, like San Diego Zoo, Knott's Berry Farm, Universal Studios, all of that we did as well. Did you get to do the Star Trek thing adventure at Universal Studios where they had like, it was like movie era, and they had like people from the audience take part in it, and I have such a clear memory of that. It was
That did
so
not
cool.
exist when we were
Oh,
there. That would have been like, well, let's see. Do the math. It would have been like 1982, 1983 that we were
okay.
there. So, I mean, this at this time, the big encounter on the tram ride was with the Cylons from Battlestar
Oh,
Galactica, the original, which,
wow.
that red-eyed robots really traumatized me as a
Oh.
child, and it's okay. I mean, it's still really creepy for me, but, so, seeing them in person was not great for me.
Oh, yeah, I think I was 88, 89, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
No, if they had
interesting.
had a Star Trek thing, we would have been there.
Oh,
We are a
man.
Star Trek family, so we would have been there if
Oh,
there
that's
was a
cool.
thing at that time.
Oh, so much fun, man. Nothing like this First Contact, Bozeman, Montana thing, though. Man, would I ever enjoy that? But, uh,
Somebody needs to build a thing, needs to build an experience in Bozeman, Montana. They just do.
oh
Come
yeah,
on.
yeah,
Somebody needs to do
absolutely.
that.
um, some people have brought up in the comments, and I love this, the idea that like when the Enterprise crew got back, did they like visit there and say, actually, here's some here's some insider knowledge. It's a little different.
Were they allowed to?
I'd say
Or did
probably not,
I'm
but
gonna say that Starfleet hushed that the hell up.
I like the idea though.
I do too. And so they'll be, like, visiting there, and somebody will say something, and they're like,
Yeah.
"I can't say it. Can't say it."
Like from the way Geordi was talking in First Contact, he's been there like 100 times. Like he dragged his parents there
Mhm.
hundreds of times, and he went back there after First Contact and went, it's just not the same. I could just see Geordi pouting and
Yep.
being like, this isn't quite right. And maybe Barclay went back and was trying to set them straight, and nobody believed. They're just like, shut up, dude.
Yeah, poor Barkley.
Oh.
Poor Barkley.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, they use the Phoenix and get back to the Cerritos. I also have to say I love how the Cerritos looks, of course, with all of the missing panels and stuff. And
Same.
Eagle Moss,
Come on.
pour out a drink for Eagle Moss, of course. But that was one thing that I'd heard they were apparently looking to work on was the missing panel Cerritos, and it's so sad that they're done now and won't be doing that. So, but
Yeah.
that would have been a really cool model.
It would have
Ah,
been it would have been very cool indeed. I would have gotten that because I really thought that that was one of the coolest things I'd ever seen in Star Trek, was the
mhm,
Cerritos with all of its hull plating gone. That was just
yeah.
mm,
Wellington disagrees, but fair
mm.
enough. I disagree. Wellington, I think it was gorgeous. That
I do
gold
too.
color, yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah. And that's
Um,
okay if you think it's creepy,
oh
we all
yeah.
have our things, like me, it's red-eyed robots, and
Hmm. Hmm.
yeah, that and the black hole also really messed me up when it came to
Oh yeah.
red-eyed robots.
Oh, of
Anyone
course,
who
yeah.
yeah, fricking Maximilian burn in hell. Oh, wait, he does. Sorry, spoilers for the ending of the black hole. Um, sorry, didn't mean to bring that into it. Anyway, moving on.
It's all good. So yeah, they get aboard Cerritos and they get to Boimler's logs. And man, um, watching this episode the second time, I forgot how embarrassing some of those things are. And I love that they're playing them and like, and Mariner is just like, ugh, ugh, ugh. And I love that Boimler's just sitting there. Mhm.
Yeah. Well, how many of us have been just, so full of gas and just wishing they could fart? I
Oh
think
man.
we've all been there.
I think so. I
I
don't
think we've
know
all
that I
been there.
necessarily make a log about it, but all
Yeah.
right, Boimler.
Well,
Um,
imagine Jack as he was recording those lines.
uh, which brings me to like, we've heard that there's the script, and then there's a lot of times where they say, okay, now just riff, just do some stuff. We'll blah blah blah.
Mhm.
I wondered how much of this was that. Like, I could totally see them coming up with on the day, right? Just whatever. And like, oh, I just dropped my tricorder in the toilet again.
That's
That's
something
totally
I
that
would
was
do.
not in the script, I guarantee.
Oh. Oh, yeah. I wish we could ask Jack, but he's in Canada now filming season 4 of The Boys, so it's not
Mhm.
like he's at 56-year mission.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh. Oh yeah, I never thought of that. There's an exact copy of him. I wonder how he's doing on the Titan. Anyway. Uh okay. Mariner decides these logs are unusable. Like the Starfleet's not gonna put their trust in some ensign. This was all for naught. I've wasted a whole day. But she basically decides to take the ship and track down the Klingons who were supposedly in on this, and like at this point she's totally lost the ball. Like she's off
Yeah.
her rocker as far as what she's going to get done here. She manages to get the other three off the ship, and they circle back around and get back on board, and a wonderful crash scene that, like, I don't know, I feel like I'm going to edit that shuttle crash into Star Trek 5 if and when I watch that anymore.
I you know, I hold no ill will against people who like Star Trek 5 and
Mhm.
enjoy it. I'm not one of those people. I saw the only time I've seen it was in the theater with my family. It did not work for me, and I have it on Blu-ray, and yet I tried to watch it, and I'm just like, I can't do this. I
Mhm.
can't do this, not even for David Warner out of makeup, just being David Warner.
Yeah.
God rest his soul. Um, so yeah, it's just one of those that I just can't get through. Sorry.
Sorry, just it's emergency landing plan C. What is emergency landing plan C? C as in Cerritos. He can't be serious. Perfect. Oh,
Yes.
um,
Yes.
yeah, I don't want to talk about Star Trek 5 for 20 minutes, but I just recently saw a post where that movie, and somebody like summarized a bunch of stuff in the movie. I'm like, that is really weird. It's like it starts out with them singing "Row, row, row your boat," and then we get a scene like McCoy disconnecting his father from life support, and we've got jokes about beans and Scotty hitting his head. Like, it is the most unfocused movie ever. Like, there are some moments that are like, wow, this is really intense, and then other stuff where you're like, what am I watching? Anyway.
It really has no idea what it wants to be.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway. um so have they done a Star Trek 5 anything in Lower Decks yet? It's ripe
The
for
boots, the gravity boots.
yes. Yeah, and the climbing the mountain, and yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Absolutely. Perfect. All right. So yeah, they managed to stop the Cerritos. Meanwhile, Starfleet security is onto them. They're chasing them down, and they end up right in the path of the space dwelling life forms, which end up finding the missing hull surface of Cerritos is the perfect breeding ground for whatever it is they do. Swapping gametes, I guess, is the colloquialism we're going for with this one.
Mm. Yep.
Um, that was interesting. I liked Tendi taking charge there and saying, "This is Ensign Devana Tendi. We're engaged in a scientific experiment and all this stuff." That was well done. Nice little gambit on her part there.
Yes, and, she's really starting to gain her confidence as a science officer.
Hmm.
Um, well, she's got a ways to go, but she's throwing herself into this completely. Like, she does pretty much everything, and she masters everything she does, like Dr. Ta'ana says. So, I'm looking forward to seeing what else she's going to master because, I'm a sucker for a science officer.
Yeah, here, here. Shout out to both Wellington and Patrick for bringing up the fan dance as well. That was another Star Trek 5. So yeah, they've got Star Trek
Yes.
5 covered. Yeah, good call.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
um, So I love, okay, I have it from, I don't know how much I should share this like third hand information I found out from someone who met up with Mike McMahon at a wedding in the last couple weeks and picked their brain about this episode a little bit, which is weird. But apparently Mike McMahon was a little freaked out about how they resolved the courtroom drama and all of that stuff. Like, will people think it's too much of a cheat, like it's a cop out? It was perfect. That is the premise of this show. It was so perfectly done. That is
Yes.
how, like, you kind of half expect, because, you know, 2 years into this show, they've strayed a little bit from the lower decks thing. We have very close ties between Mariner and the command staff and all this stuff. So you kind of half expect in your mind they will find the piece of evidence that will exonerate the captain. Will be this. I love that this all gets resolved off screen. It has nothing to do with our characters. They're barking up this wrong tree and they're like, no, there was a trial. We introduced evidence and found out this stuff. There's a secret operation to find the evidence, and the captain was exonerated. That's what the, like, if this were another Star Trek television show, that's what the episode would be about. And then
Mhm.
there'd be like these four ensigns that got themselves into some kind of trouble and we don't even hear about that. I love that. I thought that was
Yes.
perfect.
Yes, and I actually appreciated that very much because I was of the opinion that this was going to get resolved in the season premiere, that it was
Mm-hmm.
not going to be dragged out for a number of episodes. And, how the Admiral Freeman kept saying, "Trust in the system," and Mariner not being willing to do that. And when I think back on any Starfleet courtroom thing in in Star Trek in general, just throughout all the series, I can't think of a single instance where justice was not correctly served.
Mm-hmm.
So now somebody can probably tell me an example of that, maybe, but I can't think of anything like, Measure of a Man, of course, is the first one that comes to mind, and we're all afraid that Data is gonna be disassembled and studied. No, justice is served.
Mm-hmm.
Just every time that Starfleet is involved, they don't mess everything up, except for maybe Drumhead, but that justice was still served there.
Mm-hmm.
Ah,
Yeah.
trust in the system. So, you know,
Yeah.
I'm just saying there's a precedent for trusting the system.
Yeah. I would say also it's a little, there's a little bit of a meta joke here as well, where
Mhm.
a lot of Star Trek on television in the last few years, for good or ill, has been like, yes, it's a utopian society, but here's where the cracks are. Here's where, Picard season 1 and things like that, where it's like, well, things maybe not exactly blah blah blah. And I love the little bit of a, I think as Rutherford, who says, like, if you can't trust Starfleet, who can you trust? Like, why are you so freaked out about this? And I love that that was right. That ended up being right,
Mhm.
because the tendency, or at least the perceived tendency, has been to kind of go the opposite way a little bit more recently in Star Trek. And I love this kind of reaffirmation that, like, no, 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 they're the good guys. It worked out, So I appreciated that little bit of a
Same.
reaffirmation of that.
And Bateson. Whoever expected to have name drop Bateson again?
I have another little piece of insider stuff that I don't know if I'm allowed to. I won't say who said this or what, but they heard from someone in the know that that was very close to not being in the episode, because
Hmm.
apparently Kelsey Grammer had issues with the appearance of, and wouldn't sign off on it at first, and they were just going to go with Riker again. But there was like an 11th hour, yeah, fine, okay, fine, and they got him in. So I don't want to get anybody in trouble. I don't know if I'm supposed to talk about that or how much confidence I was told that in, but anyway, I won't
Well,
say who or where that came from. But
if somebody didn't want you to say something about it, they should have said, "Hey."
Yeah.
What I'm about to tell you is super secret, so don't, like, go saying it on your podcast or whatever. I mean,
But
if they didn't warn you to keep your mouth
yeah.
shut, then I think you're perfectly within your rights to talk about it. However, I'm not surprised by the Kelsey Grammer thing.
I know, which is annoying, but hey, it worked out and he gave his okay. So we got Captain Bateson in his first canon appearance since Cause and Effect, which is
Mhm.
brilliant. I love that. So that's really cool. Oh no. It's true. It's true. um
Nah, nah, if that happens, we're all witnesses, y'all. It's not gonna happen.
well, the
Section 31
20
isn't that dumb.
the 20 people who are watching this right now, we'll be fine, I think. Um, just everybody keep it on your
Everybody
hat.
start recording so that if they take down the video, we have evidence.
But I thought that was brilliant. I love that they got Morgan Bateson in and Tuvok, even though we don't get the voice actors or anything like that. It's still
I
that's
still love
awesome.
saying too much. Made me so happy.
That was great. Also just the artwork and stuff with that whole sequence, like first of all the courtroom sketch, and then
Yes.
like the little quick shots we get of what's happening, the little stills. I love like this episode we didn't get to see that happened out there somewhere, that's like
Mhm.
the Star Trek Cerritos version of Star Trek Lower Decks, this alternate timeline television show that we're not watching. I love
Yep.
that. And yes, a gorgeous Akira class ship. That was beautiful.
Mhm.
Yeah. So yeah, that all gets wrapped up. Captain Freeman comes in and saves their butts and says she ordered the scientific mission, and they're like, "Oh, okay, cool," and walk off. And then Captain Freeman announces that she's no longer in charge of Mariner's discipline, and it's all up to Commander Ransom, which is where we get the lovely "I'm your mama now" speech. um, Setting up what I'm going to assume is some pretty interesting stuff for the season. Again, I haven't watched it yet. Once this recording is over, that may change very quickly, but I did want to come to this one fresh without any knowledge of what's to come. So
Yeah. And I get that, but dang, I want you to watch the other one so that we can talk about that.
we will. Don't worry. Don't
Okay.
worry. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I guess that's it. We're set up for the rest of the season. The whole trial and everything from last season's resolved, wrapped up. We're back to status quo. Um, Final thoughts? Anything we didn't talk about? Anything we missed with regards to this episode? Brandi and the fine folks in the chat, that's open to you as well.
I'm trying to think. I actually really appreciated that moment when Mariner broke down, when they stopped her. They basically Rutherford managed to lock the navigational controls, and she just breaks down and has a very real and vulnerable moment, and that made me happy. I mean, obviously, that's a weird thing to use, but it made me happy that she was that vulnerable with her
Mm-hmm.
friends, because she still has trouble sharing her feelings with people, and she's getting better at that, and this was a big step forward in that regard.
Yeah.
And to see, especially since she and her mom did reconcile before, they were almost killed trying to save that other ship. What was it again? Which one was it? The
The Archimedes,
Archimedes.
I
Yes, I
believe.
wanted to say Archimedes, but I didn't know if I was right, because that was also the password to disarm Robbie the robot in Forbidden Planet. So I'm like, am I just mixing my two things? I just don't know anymore. It's all just one big jumble in my brain. So I really appreciated that. It's progress for her character, and looking forward to Ransom being in charge of her. I will tell you that.
Yeah.
I love this episode. Lower Decks doesn't usually make me cry, but this one did, because of the first contact stuff, and that they got the music, and that they got James Cromwell, and that there were swings on the Taplana Hall. Oh my god, there were swings. And I looked at that and I thought, the Vulcans are just like, "What are you doing?
Totally.
What are you doing?" I mean, can you imagine Vulcan getting there and going, "It's a swing set?" Anyway, love this, love this, love this. It was a great season premiere, and, I give it one giant alien sploof.
Yep. Um, Patrick, thank you for bringing this up too. The little bottom ticker stuff. It was that Admiral Jellicoe has banned the Zebulon sisters from performing on duty starships, so no more choo choo dance, I guess. At least Zebulon sister led choo choo dances. Probably unauthorized ones are still going to happen on Federation starships. And Sonny Clemens, fans rushed the stage at a Sonny Clemens concert. I thought that was wonderful. So what did he say at the end of the neutral zones? Like, nobody, it's been so long, nobody's heard my stuff anymore. All my stuff's going to be brand new. So yeah, I
Yep.
guess he's and then I guess baseball has made a real big comeback. The London Kings are doing their I don't know. I always wonder, like, the abbreviation was like something like Earth whatever league. Would the wider league between various planets still be called the World Series or the World Series? Maybe, I don't know. I think that
Yeah,
would be
well, the World Series isn't very worldwide anyway, and that was, I mean, it used to just be, the US, and then,
fun.
suddenly Canada got some baseball teams, and they're like, "Oh, well, that's the it's still the World Series." Yes, you're not inviting the world though, are you? It's more like the North American
I
Series.
kind of love that, like, the name flipped to mean the wrong thing the other way now, though.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not even the whole world. It's like, now it's still the World Series, but it's like multiple worlds. It's
Yep.
like,
Then make it the World's Series.
there you go. Yeah.
Problem solved.
They embrace problems apparently. So,
It's all good. It's all good.
yeah, okay. Oh, I haven't been showing people's ratings here. Sorry. Let me go back, make sure. Okay, so 10 out of 10 first contact references. I think that's the earliest one here. But yeah, I really enjoyed this episode as well. A great season opener. Season opener, are we talking about baseball again? No. But yeah, it's the kind of episode that, like I said, it just reminds you of the premise again. Like, by the end, you're like, oh right, lower decks. This stuff doesn't matter. The other stuff that matters is happening off screen, and I kind of love that it got back to that a little bit.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really appreciate it. I loved all the references. The first contact stuff just had me squeeing. And I'm really curious what his real hair color is.
I'm gonna go with dirty blonde.
Yeah. Ugh. I'd look weird animated now after all these purple hair episodes, but
Yeah, just let it be purple. It's
yeah,
fine.
yeah. Which makes me really curious when we see him on Strange New Worlds, what he's gonna look like there. That's pretty cool. Anyway. Yeah, so I'm gonna have to give it I think one really cool warp capable amusement park ride, which I really want to try out. So yeah.
I'd be
High
on the
rating.
Phoenix. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, next week, what's our episode next week? The Least Dangerous Game, which I know nothing about yet. That'll change very shortly, but I'm looking forward to checking that out, and we'll be here to talk about it, I'm assuming. So
Yep.
yeah. So Brandi, when you're not here talking lower decks, where can we find you?
Nowhere. Just kidding. I'm everywhere and nowhere. Just go to Brandywine12 on Twitter. That's where I post stuff most of the time. Stuff is kind of on hold right now, due to personal situations, so there isn't a lot of new things coming out. However, we are really backlogged on releasing Vedic Assembly episodes that we have already recorded. So those will be trickling out at least. And when a new one comes out, you will see me post about it at Brandywine12 on Twitter. Dan?
Excellent. You can find me on Twitter at Kertrats. That's Kertrats. Those of you who have listened to the most recent episode of Positively Trek know there are some big changes coming for that show. Brandi, I don't know. Do you know about this? I don't know.
I'll be honest, I'm way behind on podcasts. I'm so sorry.
Okay. We'll talk at, well, you'll probably hear Bruce has announced he's moving on and leaving the show, which is a huge loss. Big sad, of course. Still a few more episodes to go with him. We're recording this coming week's episode tomorrow, actually. And we also have a book club episode. Yes, a book club episode. We haven't put one out in over a month. But we have a book club episode coming this coming week, and it's me, Bruce, and Jessie Earl. You may know her as Jessie Gender from YouTube. And we talk about the short story collection Tales of the Dominion War, and that is a fun episode. That was so much fun. So I'm really excited for. Oh, she's so great. I'm really excited for y'all to hear that episode. So yeah, that's the big thing going on, and the future of Positively Trek is secure. There's plans going forward. Haven't revealed who a new host will be yet, but there's someone, and we're working it out. So this lovely week off of having COVID dropped right in the middle of that has been fun too. So a little stressful, but yeah, well, it'll all sort itself out. So no worries about that. It's not going anywhere. But yeah, and I might have missed this rating, and thank you so much. Very sweet. Thank you. Much appreciated. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching, and positivelytrek.com for the podcast, and we'll see you next week for the least dangerous game. Have a great night, and talk to you soon.